This week on GamePron News, just as we thought we'd recovered from BlizzCon, the digital pre-sale for World of Warcraft Cataclysm kicked off. Now's your chance to get in on the action the moment the servers are turned on. Telltale Games are getting ready to go back to the future. Tiesto's new music video is created entirely in DJ Hero 2. A handful of games are celebrating Halloween. All three major console manufacturers make headlines, and another tragic incident is blamed on video games rather than bad parenting. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and if last week's BlizzCon got you all excited to revisit Azeroth, Blizzard have just confirmed that they've opened up digital pre-sales for the next World of Warcraft expansion, Cataclysm. All you have to do is jump onto Battle.net, order the game, pay for it, and then make sure you log into WoW at least once prior to December 7th to kick off the background downloading process. Then it's just a matter of waiting impatiently for the next month and a bit before Deathwing returns to Azeroth and wreaks havoc on the world. This is something new for Blizzard, who say people have been asking them to enable direct download purchases for years. The new arrangement will see pre-sale customers granted automatic access to the full game when it launches at 12:01 AM Pacific on December 7th. Of course, there is a catch. If you want a physical boxed copy of the game or the collector's edition which comes with an exclusive pet, I'm afraid you'll still have to deal with a third-party retailer and give some money to your local gaming emporium. With Back to the Future celebrating their 25th anniversary this week, the video game based on the series edges closer and closer to launch. This week, Telltale Games revealed that for every series pre-order for either PC or Mac, they will donate $1 to the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. If you're not the sort of person who's satisfied with warm charity fuzzies, you'll also get a giftable copy of the critically acclaimed Puzzle Agent thrown in absolutely free. The Back to the Future game itself is set 6 months after the events of the third movie, which is the one set in the Wild West, and it sees Doc Brown and Marty McFly taking on an all-new adventure over 5 monthly episodes. It's got a certain air of authenticity to it, with Bob Gale, co-writer and co-creator of the original trilogy, on board, as well as Christopher Lloyd providing the voice of Doc. Don't get too disappointed if you're not a desktop gamer, it's not just for Mac and PC. While the game will be out on home computers first, there will also be a PS3 version following later, as well as one for the iPad. When Activision asked Tiesto to contribute some music for DJ Hero 2, the Dutchman came up with a couple of exclusive mixes for the game, including a little tune he calls Speed Rail. Turns out he liked the piece so much he soon started playing it at his live shows, with footage from the game put up on the big screen behind him. Those images have now been taken, polished up a bit, and turned into the world's first music video comprised entirely of video game footage. That's actually the in-game playable version of Tiesto on the decks. He's apparently been having all sorts of fun playing as himself in the game, which is an experience shared with millions of gamers worldwide who have gotten their hands on what claims to be the music game of the year. As we watch the decline of music rhythm games with plastic instrument peripherals, is DJ Hero the exception, or has it simply not peaked yet? In a shocking announcement, Nintendo have posted a loss of $24 million for the April-September period. They blame the continuing strength of the yen as well as declining hardware sales for both the DS and Wii. Adding impact to this report is the news that Microsoft have posted a record performance for their July-September fiscal quarter, with console sales actually up 38% compared to last year. It's been a bad week for Big N, who also ranked in last place on Greenpeace's Guide to Greener Electronics report, again, with a score of 1.8 out of 10. Microsoft edged slightly ahead with a score of 1.9, with the judges noting that the newest model of the Xbox 360 uses 50% less energy than the first model launched in 2005. Sony came in at 6th place on the report, tied with Panasonic and Motorola, all well behind Finnish communications giant Nokia, and while I don't have any details on their sales figures, this week all eyes were on the rumoured PlayStation phone prototype that was suspiciously leaked onto the internet. Engadget claimed that it's 100% genuine and that they got their pictures from a totally reliable source. Other sites have done a little research and find that Sony either do not comment on rumours and speculation, or they completely debunk the concept as a fake. The jury's still out on this one. It's either a pretty clever little mock-up, or we'll see an official unveiling announcement in a couple of weeks. A young Florida mother has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder over the January death of her 3-month-old son Dylan. Originally, Alexandra Tobias told police that the baby hit his head and stopped breathing when he was knocked off a couch by her dog. Later, she changed her story, now confessing that she was busy playing Facebook game Farmville when the baby started crying. Frustrated by the interruption, she picked the child up and shook him violently before smoking a cigarette to calm her nerves and continuing her game. She claims she later shook him again and that the baby hit his head, possibly on her computer monitor. State guidelines call for 25 to 50 years jail for second-degree murder charges in Florida, but the prosecution explains that Mr. Bias's sentence may be shorter than that as her mental state had been affected by the then-recent death of her mother. Mr. Bias will be sentenced in December. Now it's that time of year again when scary is cool and zombies wait around every corner. The virtual worlds are no exception, with Halloween-themed activities kicking off in just about every MMO you care to mention, plus more than a handful of shooters. Highlights for this year include the Scream Fortress update for Team Fortress 2, which introduces the first non-player character to the series. The Headless Horseman appears, sometimes, in Man Manor, which is an all-new, totally terrifying attack-defend map dotted with exploding pumpkins. If you'd prefer something more classic, the original Left 4 Dead has just been launched for the Mac, so Apple gamers can get amongst the infected goodness. There's also a double XP weekend for Red Dead Redemption in celebration of their Undead Nightmare DLC pack. You can pick up a points boost while teaming up with your mates for a bit of zombie-themed Undead Overrun. And then there's this classic horror offering from yet-to-be-released MMO Terror. Terrifying, isn't it? Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen and this is GamePron News.